This is the MRF coil tester. It'll test coils, it'll test injectors, and also check for injection pulse. Very simple to use. Not too many wires to confuse anyone. Your red and black, positive, negative, just connected to a standard car battery. The other two wires, a red and a black. The black's your common, the red's the pulse. These are the sort of coils you'll be able to test. You can just about test 99% of the coils on the market. This is your standard coil, coil over plug, coil pack. Machine simple, on off, press on. Turn off a second. Tell me when you're ready. Yeah, okay. You on? To test the coil, make sure the machine's off. On the single 2-pin coils, doesn't matter where you put those on. As long as they're both on the two terminals. Plug one terminal in, plug the other one in. When you're working on a metal bench, always make sure you've got something plastic to rest on, or else you might get a spark jump, travel through the bench and hit you where you don't want to be hit. The voltage is pretty high on some of these coils, and if with a weak heart, a little bit dangerous. Single coils, you use the lead provided, plugs into the side of the box, into the bottom of the coil, turn it on, see the spark jumping, up the spark a little bit. That coil's working, that coil's fine. Lower the spark, you know that coil's right. Turn it off, very important, but when you do turn it off, make sure you leave it for at least 2 seconds, so make sure there's no other spark there. Disconnect it, that coil's fine, you can reuse that coil again on the car. Standard ignition coil off your normal Falcon, the same, if it's only got 2 terminals, doesn't matter which way you put those on. Make sure those terminals are in right. Make sure the machine's turned off, so when you connect this one you don't get zapped. And the safest way to probably do it is to always leave it off. Always leave it off, and when you're ready to use it, just press the button. And then once you let go of the button, it stops itself. You've got your spark, and you've got your speed. That coil's working fine. Turn it off. The core pack, multi, so you have to find the common first, which is, I know because I've tested these ones, but that's my common there. So I'll try there. Being a multi-coil, you need to put both leads on and connect both leads to the coil. That's one bank, that's a second bank, that's a third bank. And they normally tend to work the same with the pins. First bank, second bank, third bank. So we'll connect that to the first bank. We'll put our common, which is there. And test. That bank's working fine. Move to the next bank. And what you'll find with these core packs, they normally don't tend to burn right out. You normally tend to burn one bank out. Move to the second bank. Test the second bank. that's working fine. Move to the third bank. Third bank's working fine too. That's how to test a coil. Move on to how to test an injector. Common fuel injectors, all got 2 pins, all run 12 volts. Doesn't matter which way you connect them. Turn your speed right down. Test it. You can hear it pulsing. You can move the speed up. If you've got a blocked injector on the car, you can actually connect that onto the car. If you've got a miss on that cylinder, that's basically idle. Lift it up a little bit past idle, have it running. The motor evens out, means you've got a blocked injector. Pull that injector out, clean it, put it back in, and it should work fine. To check for injector pulse, plug that into the wiring loom of the vehicle. We'll be using an injector tester now because we don't have a vehicle too close. Standard Noid tester, which with all the Noids would probably set you back around about $100. And you're limited to what injectors you can test. This one here, you can check any injector on the market. That's connected. You don't need to be powered up to power. You can just test it on its own, so we can disconnect that off the power. Give it an injection pulse. Take them off there. There's your injection pulse there. It's telling you you've got an injector. If you've got them reversed, so if you're not sure which one's which, it doesn't matter because one of the two will light up. Easy to use, just be very careful you don't get zapped, because if you get zapped it hurts. Believe me, I know. Simple to use. All the electronics assembled in Australia using Bosch parts, so you know it's going to last.